A new era is among us. That's the caption for the brand new Injustice 2 mobile update trailer. And needless to say, many people, including me, are expecting a lot for this update. I mean, the fact that they released a trailer for it is saying a lot. And the fact that Darkseid was towards the end looking super intimidating is kind of signifying to something going on with raids. But nobody knows for sure because the update trailer was super short and it didn't give us any new information. So today I'm going to be speculating what could be coming up for this update, especially for raids. I will be talking about other game modes and other things that I want fixed, but I'm mainly going to focus on raids. If you enjoy this video, don't forget to like and subscribe, and let's get started. So obviously the main thing that got everybody excited for this update is the fact that towards the end of the trailer you could see Darkseid kind of signifying that he might be a new raid boss. Now, as excited as I am for that, the one thing that kind of worries me is that NetherRealm kind of has a little bit of a reputation of being a little bit lazy. So as much as I like Darkseid and I really want to fight him as a boss, I really hope they don't just take out Brainiac and throw Darkseid in there and that's it. Like, that's the only new thing that's going to come out. No, I want to see new phases and I want to see new sub-bosses. And you know what? I think I have a really good idea for who the new sub-bosses could be, alongside obviously Darkseid being the main boss. Because just a few months ago, we had an amazing movie come out called Justice League Dark. In this movie, Darkseid is completely ruthless, man, and he even takes control over some of the Justice League members, including Batman, Wonder Woman, Starfire, Hawkeye, Martian Manhunter. So it would be awesome seeing these characters as little sub-bosses protecting Darkseid, or should I say serving Lord Darkseid. That's what Batman calls him in the movie. However, I'm pretty sure NetherRealm isn't really thinking this far ahead. I think they're just going to add Darkseid as the boss, and then they're just going to add characters that already exist as brand new sub-bosses. So let's talk about what kind of phases Darkseid could have as a boss, because I'm 99% sure that if Darkseid is going to replace Brainiac, the developers will have to bring new phases for Darkseid. So for phase 1, and I'm pretty sure I'm talking for everybody when I say this, I would like it to stay exactly the same. Don't change phase 1 because it's supposed to be really easy and it's supposed to get harder as the game goes on. For phase 2, and I think I'm speaking for everybody again, I want it to completely change because phase 2 sucks right now, man. And I think it would be a pretty cool idea to make it so that phase 2, phase 3, and phase 4 focus on one specific effect that could be damaging if you don't play correctly. For phase 2, I would like the effect to be either disabled or block disabled. These two things sound pretty harsh, but really think about it. Whenever you're tagging in your tank, you're not going to do anything with them. You just want to block, maybe do a little bit of a combo, maybe build up some power, I don't know. The main guy that you want to have tagged in to be doing the work is your damage dealer. And ironically, that's going to be the one character that you're going to have tagged in the least, because obviously you don't want them to die. You just want them to do damage and then head out. So if the developers find a really good time frame for the disabled to be active, then this could be actually pretty balanced, because timing is one of those skills that you need to learn whenever you're fighting. And this phase could perfectly test out your timing skills. Obviously, if you're bad at it, you're not going to be doing well, but if you are good at it, well then you are going to be doing well. That's balanced. For phase 3, I want to see two different effects work at the same time. If you don't block Darkseid specials, well then they will power drain you. If you do block them, well then you'll be fine. But every single time that Darkseid performs a special ability, it will also do dot damage. Now, I'm not too sure how much damage the dot damage would do. However, I do know that a lot of people get scared when they see their health bars slowly begin to chip away and slowly begin to die out. This phase could test out whether or not you're good under pressure. Obviously, those who are will perform well, and those who aren't will panic and will lose. As for the last phase, I would like to see Darkseid cycle through 3 different effects. One of them would be Reflective Shield, obviously the most annoying, and this is where the Multiverse team could actually be pretty good, or characters that do a lot of dot damage could be pretty good. And I also want him to cycle through Armor Piercing specials and Lethal Attack basic attack hits. Now, some of you probably noticed that I didn't add any extra buffs for the phases. Like, for example, right now Brainiac phase 2 has a buff where it makes it so that you randomly tag in your heroes. I don't want to add stuff like that because I really find those things to be unfair, and I'm talking about for every single phase, because in some instances it doesn't really matter how good you are or how much you've been working on your character. If you didn't get lucky, well then you're going to do bad. I'm not a fan of that. I think if a person is good at the game and they've been working their butt off to do really good with their character, they should have the ability to shine with that. However, one thing I will mention is that because I'm not going to add any buffs to the phases, I would like for Darkseid to have a lot more health than Brainiac does right now. Because again, we're not going to be adding any buffs, and so there shouldn't really be any disturbances for you. And if you've been working on your damage dealer, great. It's going to show in your gameplay. You don't have to get lucky or anything like that. You just have to play well. Those are just a couple of ideas that I had for raids. Some Some of you guys probably have more. Let me know down in the comments section. But now I'm going to talk about a couple of ideas that I had for leagues. First of all, I would like for them to add a chart or just something that tells us whether or not people are participating in raids and are donating for the next raid. This way, leaders, including me, would know who to kick out of their league if they're not doing anything. You could still check this right now, but it is a pain in the butt. I mean, you would have to constantly be logging in and checking who's doing what damage and who isn't doing any damage at all, and you would have to ask who's donating and who isn't donating. A chart would just make things so much simpler. Another idea that sounds absolutely crazy but would be absolutely cool to see in the game is that what if we made it so that our leagues aren't capped at only 30 players per league? What if we made it as much as we wanted? But here's the catch. If we were to add, let's say, 1,000 people into a league, every single time that you add a person, the health of the sub bosses and the boss themselves would go up. I think that's pretty balanced, and it would be absolutely bizarre to see a league that has like 2,000 people or something like that. It would be awesome. Imagine the damage of all of the best players in the game working together. That would be insane, dude. Although I'm not entirely sure how much health the bosses would get every single time that you added another member to your league. Maybe it could be somewhere around 3 to 5 million health per sub boss and per phase. Either way, I still think it's a cool idea. Moving on to my final idea for leagues, I would like to make it so that you can request for shards for characters that you don't have unlocked yet. I mean, the fact that they don't have that already added in is a little bit weird. You're only getting 10 shards, so I think that's pretty balanced. It's not too much, but it's also not too little. At least give me the option to go ahead and ask for, let's say, black mana shards, because I haven't unlocked black mana just yet. Anyways, guys, that's pretty much all the ideas that I had for raids that I wanted to share. Now I'm going to talk about updates that I want to see for different game modes and characters that I would like to see. First of all, NetherRealm, you got to get rid of those buffs in Champions Arena, man. We're fighting 3 of people's most OP teams, and then you're going to double their health and double their attack. That's absolutely ridiculous. Bring it back to the way that it was before. That was more balanced. In terms of campaign, I want to see more chapters so that way we can get more credits and more gear material. In terms of arena, I'm actually happy with the way that it is right now. I just want to see the arena store updated so we can get gears for characters in arena, like for example, Batman Ninja Robin and Batman Ninja Catwoman. I need the boots for both characters and there's nowhere to get it. I would just have to pay for it, or I would have to get lucky in raids. Moving on, in operations, I would like the ability to add more characters to operations. Right now we only get 3 different options. I would like to see that bumped up to maybe 6. In terms of the challenge game mode, we need to be getting more shards per battle. There are many different ways to get characters really fast. Like for example, in raids, whenever we get our raid rewards, we get like 160 shards for a character. In challenges, we have to wait for that character to pop up, and then we barely get any shards in the end. So they definitely need to bump up the amount of shards that we get. Finally, in terms of story mode, I would like for NetherRealm to actually finish the story mode. And not just that, but I also want them to give us gems every single time that we finish a chapter. That's how they used to do it before, but they stopped doing that a couple of updates ago, and that's actually kind of ridiculous. I think they should at least give us that for finishing the story mode. And also, NetherRealm, finish the story mode in the first place. In terms of what characters I want to see in the game, I don't care if they make these characters look animated, but DC has so many amazing animated movies. I want to see some of those characters, man. Some of these characters can include Owlman, Constantine, Damian Wayne, Raven. There's just so many great characters in DC movies. I want to see them in the game. And also, usually these movies have a bunch of different teams on them, which could be a pretty good idea to add them to Injustice 2 Mobile. Like for example, adding a Dark team because of Justice League Dark the movie. That would be really cool to see, man. We would obviously get Batman, Wonder Woman, Starfire, Martian Manhunter, Darkseid, but they could also add a couple of heroes in there as well. Like for example, Shazam in this movie looks like a beast, man. I think he got his eye cut out or something like that because it looked like he was missing an eye, but he definitely got his leg ripped off and he replaced it with like an electricity leg. That would be so cool to see in Injustice 2 Mobile. And I wish NetherRealm would take advantage of all of these really great ideas that are already out there. They just need to implement them to Injustice 2 Mobile. Anyways, guys, that's pretty much all the things that I wanted to see with this new update. I'm pretty sure 99% of these things aren't going to happen, but it's still good to point out just in case NetherRealm actually decides to listen. But before I go, I just wanted to point one more thing. Yesterday when I made my video reacting to the new update trailer, Jigsaw, another YouTuber about Injustice 2 Mobile, messaged me, or should I say commented down below, and he said this. This was actually very interesting. He said, "I've heard it's a new set of raid tier 1 through 8, but with Darkseid as the boss. We might have 2 raids every 3 days. Now he's not confirming it, he just said it's something that he heard, but if it's true, that would be awesome. Being able to play raids more often and not waiting for the cooldown is something that we've all been asking for, and hopefully it does come out with this update. But again, I'm not too sure. These are just things that I've heard. Anyways, guys, that's pretty much it. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and let me know what your ideas are for what the new update is gonna be. Don't forget to stay safe and stay clean, and I might stream later on on today, as long as I finish another video that I'm working on right now. If you guys are interested on the stream, let me know what I should do. I was thinking about maybe using every single character in my roster. I think that would be pretty fun and pretty challenging at the same time, but you guys might have better ideas than the ones that I do. So yeah, just leave them down in the comment section, and I'll see you guys later.